In the trenches of eastern Ukraine, many different languages are being heard, as 20,000 volunteers from 52 countries followed Volodymyr Zelensky's call to fight with the Ukrainians against the Russian invasion. 5 of them met on the way to the battlefield and formed an experienced Israeli combat training unit.
2 of us don't even speak the language. According to them, Russia is the normal world's enemy, and we need to stand up against it. 2 of us are Ukrainian, and the 5th one is from Belarus. Even though all of us come from Israel, we didn't know each other beforehand. We got to know each other on our way to East Ukraine. When we realized we want to do more interesting and meaningful stuff, I made some calls on the way to the east, and then my contact told us, "Come on, we're ready."
Alex, 34 years old from Israel, left a wife and a small business in Tel Aviv to join the Ukrainian military effort.
I was contacted by people in Ukraine and was asked if I could come and help. I immediately contacted my wife and explained to her the situation, and she asked me to keep myself safe. She said she couldn't hold me back. She understands me and the importance of the stuff I'm about to do, and within 5 hours, I was in the airport. I got to Ukraine from Israel on the 3rd of March because Ukraine is my homeland, and I have here a lot of friends and family members, and I realized I couldn't sit at home when civilians are being killed in a country really dear and close to my heart.
All of the group have a rich experience in combat fighting from their time in the IDF. Alex himself served in the Israel Border Police, another one is a paratrooper, and one of them served in the Navy's Special Forces. A 4th one served in the Israeli Combat Engineering Corps, and one was a paramedic in a combat unit.
I can say that when I got here, I thought I'd be part of the international battalion, but we ended up most of the time training the Ukrainians, and sometimes we go on special operations in East Ukraine. I think that every civilian that knows how to fight should come here. It's not a war exclusively in Ukraine. It's Russia against the normal and rational world.
Alex doesn't only have experience from the Israeli battlefield, but also from the Ukrainian one.
In 2014, when the war broke out with Russian separatists, I took part. Most of the time I was training the Ukrainians like I do today, but also I did some specific operations because they decided I could do these missions better than the locals because of my mentality and world perspective. I saw them in 2014, and today it's a whole different level, a whole different perspective. Simply, wow.
Alex and the rest of his crew are highly motivated and believe they are not on their own on the battlefield.
I'm not scared. God is watching over me, and I can feel that and know that. Because of what I experienced in 2014, now I'm sure God is watching over me. These guys, I didn't think or anticipate this. People are willing to do everything, learn anything, constantly asking questions, willing to do everything, and they don't argue. It's simply, wow. If they had better weapons than these things, then they would have been the 2nd or 3rd best army in the world.
Like many others, Alex believes Israel isn't doing enough to aid Ukraine against the Russians.
Israel needs to send helmets and bulletproof vests, most basic thing. I'm not saying that they should send commando units or Iron Dome. No need. It is nonsense. I don't know who's spreading it. It's not efficient here. There are guys here that fight with Afghan helmets on, and yet they do fight and do everything. It's just that today a normal vest weighs 15 kilograms and my Ukrainian vest weighs 30 kilograms, and it is not comfortable.
Despite the obstacles, Alex stays optimistic.
Ukraine is definitely going to win, 100%. I really hope that this summer we'll be in Ukrainian Crimea.